Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm Neil.
And we are
Nerds Over 40.
And this week we're talking about
Strange New Worlds.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So buckle up, get ready.
That's right.
But we did a review of the video store candle by Dio Candles.
Blockbuster Video, really. But
yeah,
it says
they call it video store.
Yeah.
But it legit smelled like a video store.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
They asked me to leave a review, so when I left the review on their website, I also put a link to our video, and I guess they liked it, so they sent us free candles.
Swag!
Yes, so we're not being sponsored, but they sent us a few free candles, so we thought we would open them up on stream and give you guys a brief
And these
view.
are just fun.
They are fun.
So these are like the Bernie Bott's every flavored beans of the candle world. They've got a scent for just about everything. It is so cool. They're just a lot of fun. A perfect stocking stuffer. So we're gonna sniff the ones they've sent us.
Yes, we are. And tell you what we think
about it.
And spoilers: a lot of my friends are going to be getting candles for Christmas.
If only we had smell-o-vision here. Folks.
That's right. Okay, you go first. What have you got?
All right. So I've got juice box.
Does it smell like a juice box?
Ooh, it smells like high C. That is nice.
I've got $1 million bacon. So let's see. What does $1 million bacon smell like? Hard to say.
I think it's got some maple syrup in it too.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet. Sweet bacon.
It's good.
It is.
It's not overpoweringly bacon.
No.
Chica Cherry Cola. I think that might be a Kinks reference.
From LOLA. Lola.
Oh, that's nice,
Chica
guys.
Cherry Cola.
That's really nice.
All right. Next. Sunday newspaper.
Ooh.
Oh, it does smell like it smells like paper and ink.
But does it still smell like the New York Times crossword? Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, this is definitely Bernie Butts. This is pot roast dinner.
Pot roast dinner. Or Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. Oh my goodness. I want to take a bite out of that.
That is legit.
Yeah.
That is spot on. It smells like pot roast.
You better not be hungry if you like this. Or unless you're a vegetarian, then you're fine.
I could really disappoint Neil and light that when he comes home from work and then be like, so you want to go to McDonald's?
Guess who's taking me to dinner?
That's right. Grandma and Grandpa's.
That's a little scary, honestly.
Smells like Noxzema. Or Dove soap. Smells like Dove soap.
Yeah.
You want to sniff?
Yeah. I smell some baby powder in there too. But
Yeah.
yeah, Dove for sure. This is Royal Dio, delicious butter cookies. Oh, this is like those tinned butter cookies.
Yeah, like
Danish
Scandinavian or
Yeah.
Danish.
Oh, they hit that one right on
Let me sniff.
the button.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar, flour, cookies,
Butter.
Yeah, definitely butter. I think they have their butter scent down because there's the video store one smells like buttered popcorn.
That's
too.
right. Yeah, they do.
Okay, mine is Dark Desert Highway.
On a dark desert highway,
You get Neil singing for free.
cool wind in my hair.
I hate the frickin' Eagles, man.
Yeah, they do suck.
Oof, that is intense.
Oh, that smells like Johnny Depp looks.
Yeah,
Sweaty.
like the Johnny Depp fragrance where he's like out in the desert. I said it smells like Dirty Pirate.
Dirty pirate.
Yeah.
I've got ramen.
Does it smell like ramen?
Oh, it is right on. It's salty, and it does have that scent, and it's got some kind of a herbal to it too. So it's right on. Well done, Dio.
Well, I'm going to order the Carnival Nights one because that's the one that intrigues me. So we may be doing a follow-up when we sniff
Is that like Rio's Carnival or?
No, like going to a carnival.
Yeah. Got it. Cool.
All right. So let's get into Star Trek. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
All right. So we're mostly focusing on Strange New Worlds, but I want to kind of give a very quick overview because Star Trek is like 50 years in now. So we're not going through 50 years of Star Trek.
50, it's going to be 60 next year.
That makes me feel old. But anyway, so Star Trek Strange New Worlds is interesting because it is a prequel to the original series, but a sequel to Discovery.
Yes.
So we meet a lot of the cast.
Or a spinoff.
Okay, spinoff. But we meet a lot of the cast that's in Strange New Worlds, or some of the cast, in Discovery first. So just a quick sideline about the most recent movies. They are a different timeline. They refer to it as the Kelvin timeline because a really pissed off Romulan gets sucked into a wormhole, black hole,
His
something.
name is J.J. Abrams.
No, his name is Nero. And he's coming after Spock because he thinks Spock should have saved his home world.
Says, I will not be bound by other people's IP.
That's right. So he gets sucked back in time, meets up with the USS Kelvin, and destroys it, and in the process destroys James T. Kirk's father.
Well, and he basically splits the timeline, right?
Splits the timeline. So that timeline splits off. There's 3 movies. There's Star Trek, there's Into Darkness, and there's Beyond. I think those movies are really good. But they are not part of the other portion of the canon, which everyone refers to as the Prime timeline. So if all you've seen is those movies and then you come back and try to watch the other series, you may be a little confused because they are separate from everything else that's going on.
And you may have some deeper problems for not having seen other Star Trek.
That's true. Though the movies are good.
The movies are entertaining.
Chris Pine, Carl Urban.
Oh, Carl Urban is
Simon
awesome.
Pegg, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana. Definitely worth watching, but just not part of the same
universe.
timeline.
Yeah. Which can be very confusing.
It can. So anyway, let's talk about Discovery because that's where we meet. Who do we meet?
Well, we run into...
Captain Pike.
Captain Pike shows up at the first episode of season 2.
Right. Discovery, the timeline, it's set... seasons 1 and 2 are set from 2256 to 2259, which is a decade before the timeline of the original series. And it centers around the main character's name is Michael Burnham. She starts a war between the United Federation of Planets and the Klingon Empire. It's kind of her redemption journey.
Yeah,
after doing that.
Discovery pretty much centers on Michael Burnham.
Right. So the first season, the captain of the...
Oh, and Michael is... Do you mind if I jump in?
Go ahead.
She's Spock's adopted sister.
Yes.
His parents, Amanda and Sarek, adopted her with the idea that she would help Spock get in touch with his human side.
Right. With mixed results.
He's getting in touch with his human side in Strange New Worlds.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Other people's human sides too.
Somebody's jumping forward.
That's what I do.
So anyway, the first season of Discovery is Michael, kind of her redemption arc to kind of make her way back from this horrible thing that she caused. And the captain of Discovery at that point, his name is Lorak, right? He's what's his face? He's
Snape. No.
He's Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah. So you know he's gonna
gets all the good parts.
You know he's gonna be a dick, right?
Yeah.
You know that can't be good. But anyway, at the end of season 1, Lucius goes bye-bye. And so now they need a new captain. So they're on this journey to go pick up their new captain, and they come upon this ship that is in distress. So they're stopping to give assistance, yes. And then they're like, oh, wait, it's a Starfleet ship. And we're like, oh, it's a Starfleet ship. And then you see the call letters start flashing up one by one on the
NCC 170.
And then they pull away before they give you the 1, but obviously we know there's a 1. And then the theme plays, right? And chills, right? Chills.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they're like, oh,
Dun, 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 dun.
it's the Enterprise, right? Which we all knew, right? So anyway, The ship has been damaged. They're trying to get it back to space dock to get it fixed. But the captain on the ship is on this mission. And the mission he's on, it's kind of twofold. So there's this entity that's this red angel that's setting off these like red beacons across the galaxy. He's investigating that. And then his science officer has gone missing.
That's Spock.
And his science officer has been having some issues. Got put in a institution at one point. And has been accused of killing 3 Starfleet officers.
But he
and
busts out.
Busts out, fled. So now
They're trying to track him
we're
down.
trying to track Spock down and also figure out what's up with
and get to him before Section 31 does.
Yes. Section 31's like the CIA of Starfleet. So that's kind of the overreaching what's going on Discovery. We see Pike's number 1, so his
First officer,
Una, I think in 2 episodes. I think we see her like the beginning where he's like, okay, take the Enterprise and go get it fixed. And then at the end when they kind of come back together. Yeah. And then it's this search for Spock 2.0.
Or 1.0.
You see, that's the problem with time travel.
Very confusing.
My favorite captain, Janeway, hated time travel. So I'm with her on that because it gets very confusing.
Yes.
But anyway, it's this journey of Pike with Discovery trying to track down Spock, trying to track down this Red Angel. We won't get into all the details of that because watch it, you know. But at one point, Pike does go down onto a planet to get a time crystal, and gets a very unpleasant vision of his future.
Well, in order to claim the crystal, you have to take a bad trip, apparently, and he sees a flash forward into the future where he sees his own sort of maiming.
Yeah, and bad. Like,
yeah.
it just he has to save these 3 cadets.
Yeah, it's like the end of Indiana Jones and the Ark of the Covenant, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know
Where
how
the face melts. Yeah.
Picture that, except freezing midway through.
Now we have this on the horizon, and a lot of what comes forward with Pike is him dealing with this concept of what's going to be happening in his future.
Yeah, nobody wants face melting.
No.
I mean, with the heat today, I mean,
it almost,
we almost had
our
face
faces
melting.
almost melted.
Yeah, it was hot.
The name of the episode is Through the Valley of Shadows. And he gets completely disfigured. He's in a wheelchair. He can't speak.
Well, and some of y'all might remember how Pike turned out on the original series, right?
Yeah.
The court-martial of James T. Kirk, I think, is the episode.
Right. And so Pike is forced to choose between taking the crystal, the name of the planet is Boreth, which would solve this red signal crisis, or help solve it.
Yeah, they had to have the crystal to save the universe, basically.
So he had to decide between this fate and getting the crystal or not getting the crystal. So it's a Star Trek, right? Of course, he sacrifices himself, his future,
his
to
hair.
Get the crystal.
Hair.
So anyway, at the end of season 2 of Discovery, Burnham puts on the Red Angel outfit, and she's going to go through
a wormhole to the future.
Right. She's going to go into the future, and Discovery is going to follow her. So Pike gets off of Discovery at that point. Now he's back. He's reunited on the Enterprise with his own crew. So Una's there. Spock is there. So Spock is staying behind.
Well, Spock was going to go with Michael, but he was on a shuttle, and that shuttle took damage, and he wasn't able to.
Right. So he ends up on the Enterprise with Pike and Una, and Discovery goes forward 900 plus years into the future, which the next season of Discovery season 3, picks up that thread, and we're not going to get into that because that's a whole... That's not what we're talking about.
Yes.
We're talking about Strange New Worlds.
We're coming to Strange New Worlds.
So now we have Pike back on his Enterprise with Una, and you see Spock. I think it was the last episode of Discovery, because the whole time he's got this horrible
Of season
beard.
2, yeah.
And so you see him from behind in his Star Trek uniform walking out onto the bridge, and then the camera swings around and he's clean shaven and looks like Spock.
He's a babe, too.
He has a Spock hairdo. Well, he's, I didn't want to get into everybody's casting, but Ethan Peck is who plays Spock, and he is the grandson of Gregory Peck. So he comes from good stock.
That is quite the bloodline right there.
Right. So anyway, let's talk about Strange New Worlds. So it is the 11th Star Trek series. It debuted in 2022. As we've said, it's a spin-off from Star Trek Discovery and a prequel to the original series. Christopher Pike is the captain of the Enterprise in the 23rd century. It is a decade before the original series. And one of the things I know you've talked about that you like is it's focused more on the return to episodic storytelling.
It feels more like the original series, and we binged through it this last week. And
Homework.
It was homework. It was rough. And as I was watching it, I was thinking one of the great things about episodic shows is that sometimes you get these series that are telling these streaming series. One of the great things about streaming is it allows them to tell much longer story arcs, and that can be great. But also, they have got 13 episodes to fill, or more or less. They've got X number of episodes to fill, and sometimes they only have so much story to fit it, right? I love the episodic storytelling, but one of the differences I've noticed between episodic sort of storytelling and the longer arc of a lot of streaming shows, kind of the serialized show, is that sometimes those serials, they're struggling to find material. They've already signed a contract for 13 episodes, just for example, and you go back and you watch some of those episodes and they don't move the narrative along, and they just sort of take up space. And I think that's because they don't have enough story to fill those 13 episodes. So you watch some episodes, you're just kind of mystified. Okay, so the first place I noticed this was in Legion, where Legion was the first season was great. We really liked every single week. But there were some episodes that didn't really move the narrative along, and I thought it was like, okay, so they have to fill 13 episodes, but they've really only got 10 or 11 episodes worth of material. So they're going to make these episodes that make no sense and don't really move the story. And that's the thing about episodic.
It lost me when they were wearing wastebaskets on their heads.
Season 2.
I had to tap out at that point.
Season
I was
2.
like, no, I'm done.
So also, we were watching some of these episodes on Discovery, and I noticed that it's taking them 2, sometimes 3 episodes to tell what should fit into one episode. It's like, God, would you just move this along? We know where it's going. Just get us there. So
it's worse than Silver Surfer's hair.
Nothing's worse than Silver Surfer's hair. But anyway, so going back to watching Strange New Worlds, it's very satisfying to get that. You get the best of both worlds. You do get like a little bit of an overarching, plot, but each episode wraps up. Mostly, there's a few exceptions. Each episode is self-contained, so you watch it for an hour and it concludes in an hour, and that's kind of a relief. After, I don't want to watch 9 hours to get the damn story.
All right.
Yeah, that's my TED Talk.
So, another thing that's different, same about Strange New Worlds is it is the first series since The Next Generation that features the opening narrative.
Yes.
So, space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore
Strange New Worlds,
to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Now, the only difference between that narrative and the original series narrative is who was boldly going in the original series.
Where no man has gone before, now it's no one.
Now it's no one. The Next Generation changed that.
The Next Generation changed that.
Yes.
And it's...
We want to go too. Sorry. I have a uterus. I still want to go.
So I think when they said no man, they're talking about, like, a lot of times man at least used to be sort of man and humanity were the
Yeah.
same thing, right? And now we're not doing that because it seems exclusive, and that's not cool.
Yeah. And we did watch, you watched today as
Yeah.
you were setting up The Cage.
The Cage.
Which was the
And
original pilot for the original series.
It's amazing that
Very
this show is
60s.
considered progressive because it's still really 60s. I mean, Pike says, "Oh, I'm just not used to a woman being on the bridge." It's like, dude, this is like the 23rd, 24th century or something.
The women want to be on the bridge.
Yeah,
Just saying, we want to be on the bridge.
It was filmed in 1966.
At one point, he has
so-
to choose between a blonde, a redhead, and a brunette in the Cage.
I'm going to take option D, all of the above.
Oh, you are? I thought you were going to take the redhead.
I always take the red.
I guess Neil's taking option D.
Actually,
all of the above.
I can barely handle one woman. Let's face
You
it.
can barely handle the
I
redhead.
can barely handle the redhead.
And apparently, the redhead was a hoochie.
Well, we don't need to go too deeply in that episode, but yeah, apparently she was
She was the easy
high-strung
one.
or something.
Take the easy redhead. That's the
It's a lot of words to live by.
So anyway, let's talk about the cast a little bit. So first of all, we have some of the original players from the original series. So
That's one of the best parts about
Yeah.
it too.
So
is you
we've
get
got Pike.
introduced to. Well, you see Pike.
Pike was a smaller character in the original series. We did see him, and we also saw him in the Kelvin timeline. And I like the
That's
Pike
right.
in the Kelvin
He's
timeline.
really good in the
He
Kelvin.
was definitely kind of a father figure to
They had
Kirk
the
in the
actor,
Kelvin
and
timeline.
I don't know the actor's name, but he's
Bruce
really,
Greenwood.
he's really good as Pike.
Yeah. So we have seen Pike before. So how would you describe this Pike specifically?
He's probably got he's probably got the best sense of humor of any of the captains that I've seen.
And the best hair.
Yes, his hair is magnificent.
It is magnificent.
I am. Before Comic-Con next year, I think I might go as, Fat Pike. And it sounds like he just landed a fish. But I'm going to consult with my hairdresser to see what I
You
need
gotta
to
take
do
a
to
picture.
get my hair like that, because I think I can do it. I don't have the gray that he does, but I think I can do Pike. I can do his hair. So
Yeah. I'd say he's a friendly captain. Like, there are captains who are very captain-y. Like Picard was very captain-y in the
Yeah.
beginning. I think Janeway is pretty captain-y.
Janeway is very captain-y. He's much
You
more
know-
approachable. He cooks meals for his crew and his
Yeah, he has a
quarters.
full kitchen in his quarters.
By
and
the
he
way,
cooks.
the quarters on these newer shows are amazing.
Yeah, upgrade.
There is no. If you've ever been aboard a naval vessel, those crew quarters are not that roomy. And even in the original Star Trek, of course those were made by people most of these people, or a lot of the men in these, had served in World War II. So the crew quarters were not nearly that huge. I mean, Pike's room is bigger than ours. It
Yeah.
might be bigger than our apartment.
But you don't see, when he's cooking, you don't really see that in the
Yeah.
other Star Treks. I mean, you saw it with Neelix on Voyager, but he was the cook for the
Yeah.
ship. And everything else was
Well, he's
like-
for pleasure. That's his.
Yeah.
That's his hobby, right?
but in their quarters,
The
cooking- Replicator, thank you.
I'm slow, but I get there.
But you see him cooking for his staff, inviting people. He's very warm. He's very collaborative. I would say he's empathetic. He's very human.
Yeah, he and
he's
Kirk actually have a little bit of a clash because Kirk is Kirk, right? And he's like,
he's very Kirk.
he is intuitive and he kind of acts first and thinks about it later a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas Pike is, but they're two different sort of captains too, because Pike missed the Klingon War. He and the Enterprise were out doing their, they are boldly going
Right.
while the rest of Starfleet is fighting
Is at war.
the Klingon War.
Yeah.
So he's got a little bit different perspective.
Right. Okay, so that's Pike. So let's talk about number one. Now, number one is played by
Rebecca
Rebecca
Romaine.
Romaine. She's a lieutenant commander. The actress definitely has nerd cred, because what else is she?
Oh, she's been Mystique.
Right.
She been in anything else?
I don't know, but as Mystique
She was
in
Mystique
Star
from
Trek,
the X-Men movies around the They came out in 2000 and whatever.
Yeah. She's married to Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, of Sliders and Stand By Me.
And her ex-husband is John Stamos.
Yeah, she traded up.
She did trade up. But she was in The Cage. So the
that
character was in The Cage.
yeah.
One episode, played by...
Majel Barrett.
By the way, I have to say this. Neil and I do prep for these episodes, and we were having a conversation yesterday, and he's like, well, do you know who she was married to? I was like, bitch, please. Like, are you kidding me?
She was very mean about it, too. I wasn't trying to be patronizing or something.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, she ended up marrying Gene Roddenberry.
Man,
who was the godfather of Star Trek.
I'll tell you, he was not above nepotism. I mean, he threw more parts at her.
She was in a lot of parts. So she played in the pilot, number one. Which I guess they figured the 60s weren't ready for a female number one.
He made a comment. Pike makes a comment about the yeoman, who's the redhead, actually. And,
in the old one.
And he's like, I'm not used
one.
to, oh, sorry, I'm not used to seeing women on the bridge. And then he looks over at number one, and he's like, and just like, dude, this is like 20-something. We already covered this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But Majel Barrett also went on to play Nurse Chapel. In the original series. She also went on to play...
Well, she's the voice of the computer.
She's the voice of the computer, like, throughout.
Like in all of them.
Yeah. And then she played Troy's mother in Next Generation.
Yeah, Next Generation.
Which I think is my favorite part. That was a juicy part.
Yeah, she was having fun with that.
I think she was channeling Endora from Bewitched.
Maybe.
Like, hardcore. Yeah. Like, she was a freaking handful. Like, major, like, mother-in-law vibes going on there. But she was awesome in that. So anyway, Rebecca Romijn plays number one, and she's pretty straight-laced. Like, she's business.
She's wound pretty tight.
She's all business. She's an Alarian, and she has a bunch of problems because of that. Because she was genetically engineered before birth, and because of Khan and his shenanigans, there's a rule against that. Like, you can't do genetic engineering anymore.
Well, the Alarians, a lot of times, they genetically engineer themselves to live in the environment of the planet that they're on. So it's not that they've got some sort of elitist sort of agenda. It's just there's not enough oxygen for a normal human being to live there, so they tune themselves for that, right?
Right.
And actually, she ends up saving the ship a couple of times because they use her genetically modified blood to save some people. Right.
So she has great physical strength. She has an immune system that's much stronger than a human's immune system. Her immune system glows, and it can burn out infectious agents from her body without having to rely on antibodies. And there is a whole kind of arc of Starfleet finds out she's genetically engineered. They put her on trial for that. Pike goes in and testifies on her behalf. She ends up being acquitted, and she can go back to the Enterprise, but it still doesn't change the law against genetic engineering.
It just gets more acceptance for the Illyrians.
Yeah. And there is a crossover with Lower Decks, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But one of the people who cross over from Lower Decks, they know who everybody on the Enterprise is.
Yeah, these are like legendary people. And Lower Decks takes place more like around the time of Next Generation, maybe a little after that.
Yeah. So one of the people who crosses over has a Starfleet recruitment poster in his bunk, and it's Una. And then it has Ad Astra per Aspera, which is
to the stars through adversity,
right?
Basically.
And so she was, but he was all up for her because she was
Comic-Con
like
a few years ago. They gave out lapel pins.
I've
got one.
Yeah. So I think she's an interesting character. So anyway, that's Una. Then we have Spock, who we've talked about a little bit already.
What do you need us to tell you? If you don't know Spock,
you know Spock, right? Yeah. I will say that this Spock is a little more human than Vulcan. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff going on. Yes, he's exploring his human side by making his way through the starship, exploring all the women.
Yeah, he's like better than Kirk, man. The ladies love the V, apparently.
Okay, so Neil doesn't get credit for that. Ben came up with that first.
Hey. Our show, I can take credit for it.
No, I told him I was giving him credit. So
it's a good line.
So it starts where Spock has his fiance, who we also saw.
T'Pring. She's a hottie.
But she's kind of a bitch.
Well, this show is kind of an attitude about Vulcans.
Yeah, the Vulcans are not portrayed as...
They don't come off very well.
No, they don't come off very well. So T'Pring, and then he also has a romance with Christine Chapel, and that is kind of canon because in the original series, Nurse Chapel had the big time hots for Spock, but he didn't really reciprocate.
It wasn't reciprocated, no.
Yeah. And now he's moved on to Una because she can dance. Not Una.
Yeah. La'an.
Because she can dance. They've been dancing together. So it didn't work out with Chapel, who also kind of turned into a bitch.
Well, see...
I didn't like her dumping Spock.
She is a free spirit, right?
She's a hoe.
No, don't slut shame.
Okay, I'm not slut shaming.
And I'm not even saying she's a slut,
but she let the hots for him, and then she's just turned it off, and then she's with some other
she's pretty
archaeologist
indecisive
guy.
And, she's like, okay, we're gonna cool off for a few months while I go off to do this thing.
And she wasn't nice about how she let him know it happened.
She
just showed up with her boyfriend on the Enterprise.
Yeah, she should have sent him a note saying, listen.
Or not brought him onto the Enterprise. Like, hey, I'm just gonna, beam him onto the transporter pad, and here's my boyfriend.
Yeah. Well, Spock is sitting there with a rare book.
His offering. Yeah, I mean,
and the boyfriend comes and says, "Ooh, look at this book," and takes it right out of his hand, man.
Yeah, no, it wasn't cool. So I didn't like the way she treated him. But anyway,
no, she's
So now he's maybe moved on to.
She doesn't have the kind of gravitas you expect from a nurse, maybe, or maybe
know.
That you do expect from a nurse if you watch MASH.
I don't know. So let's talk about her. So let's talk about Nurse Chapel. So she's played by Jess Bush. She was assigned to the Enterprise under the Doctor, who we'll talk about in a minute. But she also showed up in the original series, as we said, played by Majel Barrett.
The way they've got her written, she's more than just a nurse, though. And I don't want to say just a nurse, but she's also doing research.
Yeah, she's a scientist.
Yeah, she's not just putting Band-Aids on people. I don't want to belittle what nurses do.
Right.
But she's got to have some sort of scientific background beyond just, strictly nursing school.
Right. So other characters in Strange New Worlds that we've seen before, Uhura, right?
Uhura. And she is fresh out of the academy.
She's a cadet. She's not sure of herself. She's born in Kenya. She has an aptitude for math and languages. She's fluent in 37 languages. And this takes place before the universal translator. It was still kind of buggy.
Yeah.
So you needed somebody on board who could speak all of these languages.
Yeah, she's a prodigy when it comes to languages.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't know that they make it clear but to be on the Enterprise, you have to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I enjoy about the animated series Lower Decks. Because that's everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny just because you don't get Geordi LaForge. You get the people who graduate in the other part of the graduating class.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's off topic. But yeah, Uhura is they're all, everyone you see on the Enterprise is among the best of the best.
Yeah. And we have seen Uhura. We saw her, in the original series, who played by Nichelle Nichols, goddess. And then we also saw her in the Kelvin timeline.
Played by Zoe Saldana.
Right. Who is another, she's
a nerd goddess too.
She's a nerd goddess. Yeah. She was in Avatar. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy. She's one of us.
Yeah.
So then we just ran into someone. We're getting the band back together. Who did we just find that we've just picked up? Montgomery Scott.
Oh, yes, that's right. So Scotty.
Who is, and as you pointed out,
it's the first time Scotty's been played by an actual Scott.
Which is why a lot of the time you're like, what did he just say?
Yeah, I know, right? You're like, huh?
So,
the computer can understand him when he's speaking?
Yeah. So anyway, so Scotty's there. We're getting the band back together. Um, and he was so the backstory here is he was serving on the USS Stardiver. They were attacked by, okay, let's get into this. Who's the big bad in Strange New Worlds?
The Gorn.
The Gorn. The Gorn are the big bad. And I swear to God, the Gorn look like
the Gorn.
like the Demodogs from Stranger Things.
They are kind of
They
a combination
look like
of
them.
the Demodogs and aliens from Alien.
Yeah, because
right?
they come out, they hatch
They
out
burst
of
out of
everybody.
you. Yeah,
But when they come out, they look like the Demodogs, I think. I'm like, that looks very familiar.
they're
Because before, in the original series, was like some guy in a lizard suit.
It, well, very much was like a man in a lizard suit, if you remember the original series where he's fighting with a Gorn. These Gorn are very scary. They're a little overpowered, in my opinion.
Okay. Well,
but
the bad guys have to be overpowered or they're not scary.
Well,
the
the way
Borg were freaking overpowered.
the way they reproduce is by spraying this goop over human beings.
And then turn them into like a sack that like they...
Well, no, that's how they devoured them on their ship, though. They actually consume them, but that's how they impregnate humans. It's almost, money shot,
Hey, this is a family show.
well, then they won't know what I'm talking about, so it's
Okay.
okay. It's kind of, you can do better, Star Trek.
Okay. So anyway, we went down.
I saw it. I'm like,
went down
really?
a bad road with that.
I love the series, but I saw that. I'm like, oh, come on.
We just went down a troublesome road. Okay. So anyway, he was on a ship that was attacked by the Gorn. He escaped being Scotty. He constructed a transponder which fooled the Gorn, got on his shuttle, and they thought it was one of their own shuttles. He wound up on a planet where eventually
he met up with the Enterprise
Pike's
crew.
girlfriend and some people were stranded on the planet too. And then when Pike came to rescue his girlfriend, they discovered Scotty there.
Yeah, and they brought him with her.
Yes. And when he got there, he reunited with a former instructor of his from Starfleet Academy. Who do you want to talk about her next?
Well, she's your favorite character.
She is my favorite character.
Pelia, played by
Carol Kane.
And
she's
awesome. Not a witch, she's your wife.
That's my favorite line from Princess Bride. I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. I say that to Neil all the time.
But she is, I got to tell you, she's a scene stealer.
Oh my God, she's awesome. She's so awesome. I love her. She just went on my list of people, like, dream people to interview on this podcast. I would love to interview her. Though you'd spend the entire time talking about the Princess Bride.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I want to talk about Star Trek.
We'd talk about Star Trek, too.
But she is a lanthanite. And what is a lanthanite?
So they look like humans, but they live, like, forever.
Right.
She knew Pythagoras? Was it Pythagoras or
Right.
was it Archimedes?
She's
Probably
from
both.
at least the 6th century BC. And she was living on Earth. And I like this. Like, there were aliens among us all this time that looked just like us. But she didn't have an evil intent at all. Like, she's kind of a hoarder.
She was a stoner at one point.
She had something to do with she was a roadie for the Grateful Dead. And then she owned a curio shop in one of the episodes that we'll get to.
She was an art thief.
Yes, she has kind of sticky fingers. Like, if you look at her quarters, she's got some stuff in there that she may or may not have lifted.
The statute of limitations is run.
Yeah, so she's but I love her. Like, I saw this character and I'm just like, I love this character so much. She is definitely by far my favorite new Star Trek character. And every time she's on, because she's kind of ditzy, but like, she's a genius. She saves the day in very
the engineers
unique ways.
In all of these Star Trek movies, really, a lot of times the captain gets credit for it, but it's the engineering crew that's the real hero.
And she was an instructor at Starfleet Academy. So Scotty had her, and so did Una. And and she busts both of their balls all the time about how they did as students.
Yeah, Una and her don't get along very well. It's because she gave Una like a D or something.
A C, I think. And Scotty was one of her best students at the academy, but she gave him some of the worst grades.
Well, he was her best student when he showed up.
Right. So anyway, Pelia is like chef's kiss. And I'm just going to talk about this very briefly at the end, but the next series of Star Trek is Starfleet Academy. And the head of Starfleet Academy in this next series is played by Holly Hunter, and she is half Lanthanite. I believe the other half is human. She looks totally human. But so she's the same species as Pelia.
They could bring Carol Kane back as much as they wanted.
Yeah, because she lives forever.
Yeah.
I say put Carol Kane in every episode. She every series. She's awesome. So anyway,
it's kind of a callback to Guinan too.
Yeah, that she's been there forever, and yeah. So who am I missing? So next is Erica Ortegas. So she is a lieutenant, and she's the pilot. She's the helmsman.
She flies the ship.
She's full human. She's from Colombia. She has a brother that we meet at one point who has kind of a flirtation with Uhura.
Yeah, until she turns Vulcan.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. So she bragged when she was at the academy that she was going to be the best pilot ever to graduate from the academy. I would say that she probably is. She served with distinction on the front during the Klingon Wars. She's invented her own maneuvers. She has one named after her called Evasive Pattern Ortegas Gamma 3. I don't know what that is, but it sounds badass.
I think that's a custom thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a macro.
So anyway, I like her.
Yeah.
She's fun.
I got to tell you that one of the things I really like about this show is we're going through the cast right now, and every time they come up, it's like, oh, that's my favorite. Oh, he's my favorite. She's my favorite. The casting is really, really well done, and the actress who plays Ortegas is delightful. I really enjoy her.
She's another scene stealer. So then we have La'an, and her last name is problematic. It is
Noonien Singh.
Noonien Singh. So any of you who are Star Trek fans, hopefully you are at this point, she is a descendant of Khan, but she does not embrace that she's been persecuted over the years because of that.
Her name is a little bit of a mark of shame for her.
It is. So she had a very bad encounter with the Gorn when she was a kid, and they killed her entire family.
And friends, and colony, and all that.
And then I guess she got kind of set adrift on a raft as part of their Gorn
Yeah, the Gorn,
ritual.
when they capture people, they have kind of not a lottery, but just whoever, the last person standing, they let him go.
Right.
And she was the last person standing. So she's got some trauma.
To tell the tale of how fearsome they are. So she got picked up by a Starfleet ship, and on that ship was Una.
Yes.
So they became friends. So I think she's a very interesting character.
Really like
she's
her.
Intense. I would describe her as intense.
Yeah. And one of my favorite episodes, she's on with, well, she runs into she gets somehow zapped in time and is in an alternate universe with James T. Kirk. And it's really a great episode. She's allowed to be you're allowed to see kind of the softer side of her a little bit. And it's an outstanding, it might be my favorite episode, and it's a time episode, which I usually hate, but this one I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah, they go back to Toronto.
Yeah.
Save whatever. Okay, so then there's Dr. Mabenga, who you like a lot. So
oh my God! Like I said, everyone is my favorite character
also from
on
Kenya.
this, because just the actor, his demeanor is I don't know, it's just immensely appealing to me, the way he plays it, and then just the gravitas he brings to the character. It really speaks to me, and it's kind of like, we haven't met McCoy yet, and I'm like, I hope this guy just gets to move on to his next posting and that they don't kill him off or something for McCoy, because I really like the guy.
So he conducted his medical internship on Vulcan. which makes him particularly skilled in treating members of that species.
Well, so one thing, I just feel like they're leaning too much on Vulcan. Vulcan this, Vulcan that. And it's like, come on, there are more species out there than just the Vulcans.
He also served as a Starfleet Special Forces operative, and he was known as the Ghost. And he had like heavy-duty, hand-to-hand skill.
He's a
skills.
badass, and he slaughtered a bunch of Klingons during the Klingon war.
Then there's Hemmer, who you also like.
That's right. What was his race?
He's an Aenar. Aenar.
But you know, he's kind of bluish and with white hair, and
he's
got
blind,
the
but he's got antennas.
And you meet him through Uhura, and he's kind of a dick to her, but he's busting her chops. It's pretty funny, actually. Turns out he's got a very good sense of humor.
And he was chief engineer.
Yeah, and spoilers, the Gorn get him, and
Right.
it's really. There's some trauma there for Uhura, but it's almost a shame that they killed him off so early, because by the time they killed him off, you're just starting to realize what a great character he is.
Yeah,
you know?
he was a pacifist. So they don't have a lot of them in Starfleet, but he explained that pacifism was not the same as passivity, and he would, even if he wasn't willing to fight, defend Starfleet's ideals.
Well, you know, I too dabbled in pacifism.
Not a
once.
nom, of course.
Not nom, of course.
So those are the main characters, but then there's a couple of side characters. So at one point at the beginning of the series, somebody comes onto the bridge and they refer to him as Kirk. And we're like, oh, Kirk. Well, it's not James T. Kirk. It's
Sam Kirk,
who is James T. Kirk's older brother.
and it turns out that his name is actually George Samuel Kirk, which is George Kirk is their father, right?
Right. He's like
And
George Kirk
He's like
Jr.
the junior or the third or whatever number they go to.
Right. And he is not in the command lane.
He's not in gold, the gold uniform.
He's in life sciences.
He's in science blues.
And he works in one of the science labs as a xenoanthropologist. And he has a very unfortunate mustache. He really reminds me of Sam Rockwell in Galaxy Quest.
He does.
Like, he looks
does,
just like that character. You're just like, what's
I wonder
up
if they
with
did
that
that on
mustache?
purpose.
I don't know. So then we meet his younger brother, who is not on the Enterprise in the beginning when we meet him.
James T. Kirk.
James T. Kirk. And he is on the Farragut.
He is the youngest first officer in the history of Starfleet, breaking the record set by his father.
Right. And he's very ambitious. And at one point, they send him over to the Enterprise to kind of shadow number one to get some experience in being a first officer. And he has kind of a thing with La'an.
Well,
you know, from
it's really kind of strange, because she met him in an alternate timeline,
right.
and it's a different Kirk than him, but she bonded with that Kirk, right? And so she brings a little bit of it back, and our boy James T is not one to miss an opportunity. So
But he's already involved with Carol Marcus. He
That's
tells her
right,
that.
yes.
That I can't get involved with you because I have a girlfriend and she's pregnant.
but we're probably going to be going different directions though,
Yeah, I don't
too.
know.
So
Yeah.
it's all very futuristic and
Soap opera-ish, a little bit.
more. Well, we know that in Star Trek that Marcus told Kirk she didn't want him to have any part
Right.
of raising the son.
Right. So anyway, that's kind of the cast that we're working with. One of the things I like about Strange New Worlds is they go way off the page. Like, they have very offbeat episodes. Like,
A lot of meta episodes.
Yeah, you didn't see this in Discovery at all. You didn't see it in Voyager. You know, but there's some stuff that goes on. So I just want to go through a couple of these episodes. So one is called A Space Adventure Hour. And we saw this one at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They showed us the whole episode. And the idea is they've come up with this new technology called, hello, my shirt, the holodeck, right? And they want to test it on the Enterprise because the Enterprise is their,
Those
flagship.
of you you may not have seen this episode, but those of you who have watched Star Trek and have seen those holodeck episodes, how do you think this experiment goes?
Yeah, bad things always happen on the holodeck.
Yeah.
So anyway, they said that they're going to put somebody in the holodeck, but they can only use characters who they have like their information in the buffer from the transporter, because that's how they get their information to put them into the holodeck. So anybody that the person who goes into the holodeck is interacting with is going to be one of these people who've been in the transporter. You would think that pretty much everybody on the ship had been in the transformer, but whatever. So it is La'an who goes in. And she had this series of stories that were like her favorite stories growing up. And they're set in the 1960s. They're detective stories. And the main character is named Amelia Moon. So she's playing Amelia Moon, and she's going to go into this murder mystery. But what's funny is it's set in the 60s, and it's the cast of this sci-fi show. And it has like the people who, are starring in it, and then the agents and all these other people.
It's the sci-fi show inside the sci-fi show is a spoof of the original series.
Yes, it's meta upon meta upon meta. And the person who plays the captain of the sci-fi show is the person who plays Kirk on this.
And I swear to God,
he's being total like
Shatner. He is channeling Jim Carrey's version of Shatner.
Right, it's, like hardcore. And I
funny.
actually saw something today of William Shatner reacting to this, and he has no sense of humor about it.
He's 90 years old.
94. He just turned 94 yesterday.
He was not a barrel of laughs in his prime.
No, very curmudgeon-like. So anyway, as you would imagine, this thing doesn't go well, but it was a good episode, and I enjoyed seeing it.
It was funny. It was a spoof. Don't meet your heroes.
So then you referred to another one that I had, which was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's the one, again, it's La'an, goes back in time. And she encounters a man on the Enterprise who's been shot with a bullet. And he hands her a device and tells her to get to the bridge. And then he dies and vanishes. So she runs to the bridge thinking that's what he was telling her to do. And when she gets to the bridge, it's Kirk who is the captain, not Pike. And Kirk tries to grab this device from her.
It's an Earth ship, not a Federation ship.
Right.
She's in a timeline where the Federation does not exist.
Right. So he tries to grab the device, accidentally activates it, and sends them back to Toronto in 2022. And at that point, while they're there, they encounter Romulans. They encounter very young Khan Noonien Singh.
Frickin' Romulans, man.
And they need help to get back and set things right. And then they go find Pelia, my girl.
And it's inconvenient knowing a 1,000-year-old woman.
She's running an antique and curio shop in Vermont. So they go find her, and she gets them back. So that's another one. Another one is Subspace Rhapsody. That is their musical episode. So Pelia suggests to Uhura to transmit a piece of music into subspace, into a subspace fold, which creates a quantum uncertainty field, which is, shit that Star Trek makes up for,
hand-wavium at its finest.
That compels the crew to break into song during periods of heightened emotional stress.
There was a portion of the internet that was, furious about this.
Yeah, they didn't like this episode.
But, I think they were, probably actually just Shatner and his bots. So.
Right. So then
I liked it.
There's the Elysian Kingdom. Dr. M'Benga's daughter has developed this degenerative disease, so he's keeping her in the transporter buffer.
Without anyone else knowing about it.
Yeah, it's a secret, so she can stay in stasis, so she's not going to die, while he's trying to find a cure. And he occasionally brings her out very briefly to read to her. And she has this favorite story called The Kingdom of Elysian. So the ship goes into a nebula, and they find themselves in this surrealistic recreation.
It's sort of a fantasy, like Lord of the Rings type of universe.
Of this kingdom. It's kind of like they're in Ren Fair outfits. Uhura's like the evil queen, whatever.
Only a couple characters know that
M'Benga and Hemmer are the only two who know.
Oh, Hemmer's still alive.
Their real identities.
Yeah.
And it turns out that there's this alien entity that's pure consciousness that has created this world for M'Benga's daughter so she can, experience it and live in it. This alien consciousness gives Mbega this option to leave his daughter with her,
Where she can leave,
and she can
kind
leave.
of a meaningful
She
life.
can have a life and not die. And she does. She stays. And at one point, she comes back as an adult,
Like,
just to kind of
at the end
check
of the
back in
episode.
with
So
him.
time is no longer sort of a thing for her, right? She's whatever. But he sees kind of an adult version of her.
Yeah, and she's happy and whatever.
yeah,
So happy ending. So anyway, those are just a few of the kind of offbeat episodes that I like that Star Trek does this. And one of the things that we haven't seen yet, but we got the preview for, is when we were at Comic-Con, they showed the back of Pike's chair. And then he swings around and he's a Muppet.
He's a Muppet.
He's a freaking Muppet, and it's a Strange New World season 4.
I feel like
so they're doing a Muppet episode, and they have confirmed it's not a puppet, it's a Muppet. They're working with Jim Henson's company. That's who's doing this.
I feel like the more that the internet rages,
the more they're going
say,
all
you know
in.
what?
They're like doubling down. Hold my beer.
We're doing what we want to do, and you know what? Good for
It's
them.
fun. I mean, that's the nice thing about this season of this series is it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, you never know what's going to happen. Just embrace it. Go with it.
And it's not all silliness, right? These are just sort of every once in a while they'll have an episode like that, but it's.
Yeah, Q's son shows up and wrecks havoc at one point.
That's a great episode too. Yeah, you don't see him, but you hear, you
hear John
Q.
Delancey. And Q's son is played by a character actor. Sorry, I don't have his name, but he was also in the new season of the X-Files.
Yeah.
If you saw the one where he's like the werebeast or whatever, he's Australian, I think,
or British. I don't know.
But he's funny.
He is in Yes
really
Man.
funny. Yeah.
The guy he's very funny. I could watch him do about anything.
I will insert an image.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Strange New World. I keep wanting to call it Brave New Worlds, but that's a little different show.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't want to watch that show.
Yeah.
I mean, what I like about Star Trek is it's hopeful.
Yeah.
It's hopeful. You see so many dystopian versions of the future, including Star Wars. No dig at Star Wars, but it's pretty dystopian. Whereas Star Trek is we've got our shit together finally. And yes, we're still fighting here and there and whatever, but we're exploring. It just has such a, like, I want to live in that future. That's a future I want to live in. I don't want to live in Brave New World.
Well,
I don't want to live in 1984.
I mean, it's a post-apocalypse, but where humanity chose to band together instead of squabbling over, the bits and pieces. Yeah. It's about something being more than the sum of its parts.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's the sort of future that we should all hope for.
And I mean, how many things that they invented in Star Trek that we now have? The doors that slide open,
flip phones,
iPads,
all of your tablets, cell phones, all that stuff.
Now we need the replicator.
And warp drive wouldn't be bad either, but I don't know that there's any lithium out there.
Transporters.
Transporters are problematic.
They can be.
I mean, because do the transporters is the person who arrives the same person as the person who leaves?
I don't know. Drop a comment. Oh, and like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe, please.
So, all I would say about Strange New Worlds is, if you have liked any moment of Star Trek, watch it, because you will find something to like here.
Okay, so let me tell you right now what the worst part of Strange New Worlds is. It's on Paramount Plus.
Yes, Paramount Plus sucks.
And I'm pretty mad about that, actually, because how do you build a property by limiting the number of people to see it? And it's because it's not about building Star Trek. It's about building Paramount Plus. It's about these stupid streaming wars when we've already got probably 3 or 4 times the number of streaming services that are really supportable.
Listen, I pay for Paramount Plus only for Star Trek. That's why I pay for it.
Yeah.
So we have Star Trek.
Well, and
that's all.
and that's why they keep it on.
Yeah.
On Paramount
I mean,
Plus.
I'm going to pay for it as long as Star Trek is on there. I'm going to pay for it because that's where I watch Star Trek. But I agree. Also, you know, as back to the Kelvin timeline in the movies, those kind of petered out, but there's been a rumor of a fourth movie for I don't know how long.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it'd be nice if we got that.
Well, the cast is so. I mean, the actors are all huge stars in their own right. You know, I mean, you've got Chris Pine. He's a A-lister. You've got Carl Urban's an A-lister. Zoe Saldana's an A-lister.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. Just getting all those people available at the same time is going to be hard. Plus, when Star Trek Beyond came out, it felt like they didn't promote it correctly. Or they didn't
we
promote
never
it at
saw
all.
a trailer in the movie theater or anything.
I mean, I was kind of.
We kept going to the movies, and I kept going, "Where's the trailer for Star Trek?" We saw that stupid Mission Impossible trailer.
Well, it was also
for like 6 months.
Well, that
straight.
was also by Paramount. I think they spent their entire budget on promoting
yeah,
that.
who gives a damn? All those
instead of-
movies are the same.
Oh my God!
But
Yes.
we're getting off track. But in terms of Strange New Worlds, so the third season is about to wrap up. I think there's 2 more episodes of the third season.
And they're already shooting the 4th, and they're going to have a 5th season that's going to wrap the series.
Right. And the 5th season has less episodes. There's only 6 episodes of the 5th season. And what they've said is the series is going to end with the first moment that Kirk walks out on the bridge and he is the captain of the Enterprise. Now, my deep hope is that they don't do to Pike what is in the vision of Pike. I know it would be kind of cheating if they don't, but I don't want to see that happen to Pike.
Well, so in the original series, and this is all ancient memory here, but I think that Pike, he's maimed or whatever, but I think they end up taking him back to those big brained dudes, and they reunite him with that blonde, and he's able to live like, you know, that idyllic sort of life with her. They're both kind of maimed, right? But they don't look maimed, they don't feel maimed, but they're able to, you know, those the big brain. I think that's what happens. But I'm not.
Yeah, I
like
don't
I
know.
said, I just watched The Cage again for the first time in a decade at least, and we haven't watched the follow-ups yet.
The Menagerie.
I'm sure there are those of you out there who are watching this, Tony, who can probably drop something in the comments.
Tony's
about
a
whether
Star Wars guy.
He's an everything guy. Tony is an everything
He's
guy.
an everything guy. But anyway, so there is more Strange New Worlds to come. So if you start watching now, you're going to have 3 seasons to get caught up on, and then you're going to get a 4th and a 5th. There is rumor that they may go on and kind of not retell the story of the original series afterwards, but show more kind of adventures of the original series with this cast. Which
I
would
hope
be
this
awesome
happens
if they did it.
It's not, you know, I don't think it's going to lessen the original series. I mean, we're going to get some more stories out of it. They're going to be told a little differently, I'm sure. I think one of the Roddenberry's real regrets about the original series is it was a little more Kirk-centric than he was hoping for.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's really looking for something more like The Next Generation, where each cast member got to shine at a different moment. And I like the guy they've cast as Kirk.
I like him. I don't love him.
Well, I mean, you've
think
seen
he's
him
okay.
in 3 or 4 episodes.
I've seen him in enough episodes. I think he's all right. Chris Pine was better. Chris Pine was
Chris
awesome.
Pine is like a superstar.
I know. He was awesome. But I think he's okay. He's okay. He's not my favorite character on Strange New Worlds, but he's okay. But anyway.
Well, he's not supposed to be your
So-
favorite character.
So just to move on past Strange New Worlds, just real quick. Next year, there is a brand new Star Trek series starting. And that is Starfleet Academy. Now that one is way in the future. That one is in like Discovery's
That's after
future.
Discovery. That's
after
kind of a-
Discovery
yeah.
jumps the 900 years.
Yeah, just
They're rebuilding
spoilers.
Starfleet Academy.
that 900 years that Discovery jumps, it's a post-Federation world. There's been the burn that kind of blew up, actually, all the sort of starfaring,
Right.
and they are putting Starfleet
Back together.
putting the band back together again.
So we mentioned that Holly Hunter is going. She she has a dual job. So she is Chancellor of Starfleet Academy, but Starfleet Academy also has a starship attached to it. So at times, they're all going to get on the starship and fly off and go have adventures in space, too. It's not all going to be in the building in the academy.
It's kind of...
And she's the captain of that ship.
It's kind of interesting how, in the original series, the starships, they couldn't fly deep into the atmosphere, right? They could only go into the very, very outermost part of the atmosphere. But now, the starships are going into the atmosphere.
Voyager landed on a planet.
Well, Voyager was made to go into the planet, though. It was a different sort of ship than, like, the Enterprise from Next Generation couldn't go into the... But it was made for the Maquis conflict, I think, specifically. Right. So it was made to go into atmosphere, which is why it's more aerodynamic in shape than like the Enterprise.
It's badass. My favorite ship. But anyway. So who else is in Starfleet Academy? So... who's the big bad? The bad guy. Paul Giamatti.
Is he the bad guy?
That's what they said in all the previews, and he's a Klingon. And apparently the way he got that role, I just found this out, he was on Stephen Colbert. And they are both big sci-fi people. They read a lot of sci-fi. They go into these whole things, I'm reading this guy, I'm reading this guy. But he went into this whole thing about his dream was to play a Klingon, but he doesn't get offered those roles. Well, the showrunners saw him in that interview and offered him a role to be a Klingon, so now he's a Klingon.
That's so cool.
And they showed him in the teaser trailer, he's walking down the hall of one of these, I don't know where he was, and he's whistling the theme from the original series as a Klingon.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Also on there is Robert Picardo, who is the emergency medical hologram from Voyager. Love him. Also, what's her name from Discovery?
Jet Reno is her name, but that's Tig Notaro. The only person who has a name weird, her real name is weirder than her Star Trek name.
She's awesome. One of the people who was not in the preview, the teaser trailer, who should be in there, is Tilly from Discovery, who is another one of my favorites. I love Tilly.
Do we have confirmation that she's on?
They haven't confirmed it, but there's every rumor that she's supposed to be. One more thing about Star Trek I love, just off topic, is cats.
That's right.
Star Trek loves cats.
Who doesn't?
Data cried over his cat.
What did he name his cat? Was it Spot?
Spot.
Yeah, Spot.
Yeah.
Well, this is Hobbs. He's a vicious beast.
He's a Gorn.
Dude, you're in my shot.
So anyway, let's wrap it up because it's getting warm in here. But yes, there's a variety of cadets that we're going to meet in Starfleet Academy, and I'm super looking forward to this series. I'm ready. Bring me all the Star Trek. I'll go to the movies. I'll watch the streaming. I'll watch it all.
Well, they are going to have a new actress. I can't remember her name, but she's a hologram. A hologram, yeah. But I think she's going to capture everybody's heart.
She was so excited at Comic-Con. She was just jumping up and down, and she cried, and I was like tearing up watching her. Like she's a
sweetheart.
Delight.
Yeah,
she is definitely a delight. So could you get out of my shot? I can't. Okay, whatever.
He's a media whore. What can you say? He's going to stand in front of whoever's talking, right?
I guess so.
Anyway, folks, are we ready to wrap it up?
I think we're ready to wrap it. Hobbs says it's time to wrap it up.
He needs snacks.
He does. I can't see the computer to turn it off.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in.
We don't know what we're talking about next week, but it'll be something.
We'll come up with something, and it'll be brilliant.
It will be. And in the meantime, live long and prosper.